This looks a little interesting. Now, right off the bat, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who came and watched my latest video about Zune HD. For the record, I am still trying to get music loaded up onto this thing. I have like 4 post-it notes worth of artists that I want to load onto the player, and I've only just gotten through like one of them recently. But thank you to all the ones who were commenting, liking, and sharing the video. But we're gonna go back to our usual shtick here. I have in my hands a very unique device, one that not a lot of people seem to know about or even know even exists. This right here is the Verizon Wireless Razzle. Now you may be thinking to yourself, oh no, here we go. We got a carrier-based messaging device. This is gonna be poor. But here's the thing. The Verizon devices back in the late 2000s really knocked it out of the park as far as uniqueness goes. I mean, a couple examples that come to mind, LG Voyagers, the Samsung Juke, the LG Chocolate, a lot of Nokia Twist even. I'll just put that one up on the screen. That one has a really cool design. But this one essentially is like what was the precursor of the Nokia Twist, just under Verizon's own namesake. You wanna know why? It's a swivel out keyboard. What do you know? Yes, this phone was unique at the time because it had a speaker bar mixed in with a keyboard. And you could just like tell I had been playing with this thing for a couple of hours, and it always gets exciting for me. This actually was one of those few phones that I had that, or not really that I had per se, but it was one of those phones that I saw all the time in like kiosks and Verizon stores. They always had like dummy models you could be able to play with. This was one of those phones that I was just excited to mess around with. So, and yes, this particular one that I hogged off of eBay, this has still got the plastic film on the cameras and the screen, which we will peel those off later in this video, but not for right now. So, what made this phone super unique at the time? And did it like do anything to potentially sway more people into just going into more feature phones instead of smartphones? We're gonna find that out right now. Alrighty everybody, just like all my previous carrier videos, we are going to give this a fire up. Instantaneously, you gotta love Verizon's quickness with their boot up screens. This is just, it's nothing like you've ever seen before. So, and with that, and you could just hear that speaker stupid loud. I love the fact that that happens. Okay, so right on this home screen right here, you'll notice one thing. Yes, even messaging phones could have live wallpapers. I'm still shocked that that's possible, but this is basically your general home screen that you have right here. Now, to put it in perspective, the bottom portion of this phone is the only part of the phone that could swivel. This top portion right here is completely stationary, hence why the D-pad and all the controls stay in the same spot whenever this thing gets swiveled around. And as you can hear right there, that basically lets the phone know that, hey, you swiveled around to the keyboard, or swivel to the front portion. So I found this to be like a really unique feature, and yeah, it's actually kind of makes it stand out a little bit more compared to other stuff. So we're gonna go into our menu real quick. Now, the downside to this is, yes, because of the fact that this is a Verizon-owned carrier device, it's gonna have the traditional Verizon menu system. And it does kind of disappoint me to say that, especially given, you know, the Samsung Gravity TXT was also pretty bad, which, if you haven't seen that video, please go watch it. You'll understand my gripes with a lot of messaging phone UIs at the time. So, with that, you got your media center, your messaging, your contacts, your email. You got, what does this say? Mobile IM, that's basically your instant messenger. You got your ringtones, recent calls, your navigator, which I found it very cool that back in the day, a lot of messaging phones were actually programmed to have like GPS systems built in. Man, those were some times right there. Get some settings and tools in this front here as well. And that's pretty much really it. So, as much as I was like dogging on the fact that like this design is like the coolest thing ever, there still are like drawbacks in the fact that it's just, you know, a carrier messaging phone, which really does stink. And another thing too, this actually isn't a Verizon carrier phone. Ha! Fooled you right there, didn't I? This actually was produced by Pantech, the same people that actually ended up making my Pantech Impact phone that I used to have back in the day, which was an AT&T exclusive. You didn't really see anything like that on Verizon. And hopefully someday I will get my hands on one of them so that way I could be able to review it for y'all, because that phone was something special when I had it. But enough about that. Let's see how the messaging experience was, and particularly this very unique style keyboard. So we're just gonna go ahead and basically type out a text message. And let's figure out a phone number. Sorry to anyone who might actually have this phone number. I'm not doing this in the means of doxing you. I am just using it for a test subject. Alright. So, how do these keys feel? We have no clue. That's not bad. Now, I think the only downside is just the spacing of the keys themselves. If you look very closely, these are very tightly knit together. And while if you were like a younger kid at the time, it would have been a little bit easier. For my sausage thumbs right here, this is a little bit like more difficult to carry out a message. And I do like the fact that they do have this like little green button, kind of like your shift key of sorts, just to be able to type out your special symbols and stuff like that. I do find that to be a really good feature. So we're gonna back out of this. Alright, so then now we're over here. And while we're at it, we might as well go over this portion of the device. I do love that sound effect, by the way. This was when Verizon were at their peak when it came to like, you know, sound design and UI and stuff like that. So let's see what that music player's got in store for us. Alright, I do have the SD card from the Samsung Instinct video installed on this phone, so let's see what it's like to be able to, wait, what? Oh, well there you go. So apparently, sorta like how the Pantech E's did it, but in a little bit more of an antiquated fashion, you could be able to hook this phone up via micro USB to your computer and actually be able to sync music that way. I think that's really cool. I did not know that that was a possibility. So, well, either way, yes, let's unlock this, please. Let's check and see where our music is at. What? No songs available? Are you serious? This is unprecedented, folks. Here I was thinking that the Samsung Instinct's micro SD card would actually translate to a phone like this. And we're left in the dark. Goodness. Y'all, I'm so sorry. This is not what I was expecting in this portion of the video. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. Well, there's only one other thing we could test out on this phone that hasn't been tested out yet, and that is the camera. Now, for this particular one, it looks like this is, and if we could get a good focus on here. Oh, it doesn't even say, it just says megapixel. Not again. Why am I seeing this again? Why? Okay. let's find that camera button, and while we're at it, explore, I guess, like the phone's like physical buttons and stuff. So right here is where your micro USB port is. So, you know, if I really was serious about doing the music transferring, it's right over there, well within reach. I think that's actually like not a bad placement either, like on the top left portion of the phone. Pretty good. Volume rocker's right over here. We've seen that before. Now on this side, this is where the micro SD slot would be, and yeah, so now I'm gonna have to unfortunately take this guy out. Oh, I thought you could work. Why didn't you work? But in all seriousness, this is where you would be able to place it. I do find it a little strange that it's on this side when it's in keyboard mode, but when you twist it over, it goes to the left side. Maybe it's just because of the fact that we were used to having SD card slots on this side of the device. I don't know. Hard to really say without knowing. Now over here, this looks like it's a camera button. Alright, let's find out. Oh! Folks, we got another one of these. Okay. So, this looks like a quick taskbar. So, it'll literally show all the different things in the main menu without using the main menu. What? This is confusing. So you can go to your recent calls if you wanted to. You could also go to your dialing, go to produce a new message, your Verizon services, your music player. So they do separate the music player from like the media homepage. You can go to your pictures, your contacts, tools. Let's see if like maybe the camera's in here. Nope. All right. Third time's a charm. Let's see. And these are just your basic wallpapers. That's a real shame. So I unfortunately do not have access to that. So let's see what else is on here. That's it. Wow, I was expecting so much more from this. I'm gonna need to figure out where the heck that camera is located. It was right here. It was right here the entire time, and I wasn't even thinking. Oh, y'all, you better be giving a like on this video just for my own sheer stupidity. This has just been a roller coaster ride of a phone so far. And while I'm at it, I might as well call out here too. They do have a 3.5mm headphone jack on the top. So props to Pantech for putting this on their phone. I think this was a good touch, especially, I mean, come on, man. Especially since you have this on the back when you're using the keyboard, you might as well have, you know, music functionality built into it. So we're here on the camera screen right now, and yeah, this is not a really good view. The screen is a little bit washed out, so I'm gonna unearth some, like, you know, relic history. So there's apparently still the film for the screen and the film for the camera. So let's peel off this so we can get that nice, satisfying. Oh, look at that. That is gorgeous. And let's do the same for the camera as well. Let's see where this thing starts and where it ends. Does it start? Does it end? We don't know. We're gonna find out. Ah, here we go. Is this it? Yeah, there we go. There we have it, folks. We have unearthed history right here. And so, to give it a proper context too, first off, let us figure out, oop, it backs me out, interesting. Alright, so let us go and take a picture. You gotta love the cheesy and very abrasive sound effects. I do not like that. So, I don't know if you could be able to pick it up on the camera here, but yeah, this is looking like blue light. blue light with like little to no detail whatsoever. So if you wanted like photos taken in a little bit of a more cooler tint, then the Verizon Wireless Razzle is for you. Now I wanted to kind of go back a little bit and see what kind of messaging, instant messaging stuff they had preloaded onto this phone. So we're hitting OK. Oh my goodness. Yes, we're gonna have to. Okay. This is interesting. So they actually do not have any social media quick keys. This is actually kind of nice. So because of the fact that this is Verizon Wireless's, preloaded instant messaging application, you only have like one of three options. You could do AIM, you could do Windows Live Messenger, or you could do Yahoo Messenger. And honestly, that's not a bad thing. If you're somebody who, I guess for some reason, still likes using instant messaging functionalities on a phone that literally came out a year before the iPhone 4 was even released, I mean, come on now. Like, this is probably the perfect device for you, provided, obviously, you have a working SD card that actually loads up your music for you. I do find this phone to be very quirky. But let's kind of rewind it a little bit and talk about the drawbacks, and at the same time, would this be good in today's modern age? Alrighty, y'all, final thoughts on the Verizon Wireless Razzle. This is a really special device. I keep on thinking I could be able to twist that way, but I can't. What is going on with me today? With all intents and purposes, this truly was Verizon's like golden years, if you will. This was, at the time, 2009 was actually a really special year for Verizon. Not only did they come out with phones that literally have a swivel keyboard with a music speaker bar over here, they also came out with stuff like the BlackBerry Storm, the Motorola Droid, which ended up popularizing the Android operating system as a whole, and obviously the LG Envy, the LG Voyager, Samsung Juke, LG Chocolate, all of these devices were super unique and actually helped the carrier to stand out between the big three. And it really does go a long way with saying that yes, they truly had innovation in mind for a lot of these phones. Now, in the context of this one right here, if I'm honest, this doesn't really hold up all that well in today's day and age. Now, yes, there are some features that I could definitely agree are pretty good. The fact that you have a music speaker and dedicated player control, and the ability to sideload music using your computer, fantastic. Honestly, I think more messaging phones need to have this kind of feature. But standing out in today's day and age, I mean, obviously, you do got, micro USB, you could just be using USB-C, but that's besides the point. I'm going to be probably saying that for a lot of these phones when it comes to me reviewing them. The camera, definitely a sore spot. I do find it funny that it's kind of like the Samsung Instinct, which, check that video out, I'll put it on the card in the upper right hand corner. That they do have the little mirror, the mirror does kind of bring you back to a different time where people were taking mirror pictures, and I mean, I was kind of guilty of doing that myself, just using a different phone at the time. But yeah, this truly was a special device, and yeah, it does have its shortcomings. The UI is a little basic. You don't really have a great camera, and at the same time too, this keyboard. I mean, as much as I like the fact that it's angled in a way so it's actually a little bit more comfortable to hold, this really is a cramp style, and it does. You will definitely find yourself accidentally mispressing a couple times and getting some words mixed up. So I mean, for those intents and purposes, I can't in good consciousness recommend this phone despite how cool it is. So we'll just power you down. Power down, please. with that, that is the video. Sorry for how long this took to come up. I obviously had to wait till this phone was actually, like, you know, arriving, and it did kind of cost a little bit of a pretty penny, especially, I mean, I literally just peeled off film on this freaking device. Like, that is kind of crazy to do for a phone that came out, like, oh my goodness, like, say, like, 24 years, this is almost like a 24-year-old phone. Like, it's ridiculous, it's so ridiculous. But anyways, be sure to give a like on this video. I promise you guys I will be getting back into the swing of things regarding just putting out a little bit more content. Keep an eye out for my community tab, follow me on Bluesky. And before I do go, I do gotta mention to you, yes, I did concede and I did make an X account. So I will be putting that also in the link of the description. If you guys want to follow me on there. I'm only kind of using it as more of like a backup account in case, like, for whatever reason my Bluesky ends up getting, like, banned for whatever reason. So do give a follow on that too, and do subscribe to the channel. I'll be putting out a little bit more content in the future. As I said, I do have the Sprint Showcase video coming this week, so I should be able to put out that video for y'all as well. Either way, it's your boy Retro Landline calling you back from the past, and as always, peace out.